Welcome back to another episode of Everyday Integrity. I'm your host, Dawn Vitale.
And I'm Margie Bowling. Let's get started.
So, Margie, I want to tell you and everyone about this experience I had this week. And then, consequently, I ended up seeing this quote inside one of my literature books for my program, and it totally coincided with the experience that I have. So I'm here to share it with you all and share the experience. So it goes like this: I need not be limited to old fears. I can do what feels right. I do not need to take every suggestion. I can consider my options and pray for guidance. So here's what happened to me. I am creating something, you know me, I'm like always creating something, and I invited somebody to participate in something, and they put a boundary up right away. It was actually really great because they were teaching me about boundaries. They're like, this is great, you're awesome, I'm doing this, you're doing that, can you tell me a little bit more about the thing? And I did, and
Ah,
I responded and I said, yeah,
mhm,
here's a little extra. And, I didn't hear a response back right away, but a few minutes went by and they said to me, you know what? I thank you for reaching back to me or reaching out to me. And then I don't think I'm going to do this. And it was really great to hear from you. Let's
mhm.
stay in touch. And so I thought about their response and I'm like, wow, they legitimately put boundaries up to me in a kind and loving way.
I love it.
And I was like, oh, teach me something, this was fantastic,
Right?
because I don't always do that, like sometimes
Yeah.
I'm a yes too
Yeah.
much.
Uh-huh.
And in this instance, this person showed me the way
Hmm.
to detach with love, to say no, to evaluate. Like, they listened, they said, okay, what
Hmm.
is this about, is this right for me? They ingested it and thought to themselves, I'm high, i'm
Hmm.
I'm thinking about it, like, let me think about it, let me ingest it, is this
Hmm. It
can I
sounds so graceful.
graceful. They weighted against, I mean, I'm making it up because I don't know if they weighted, but they did take some time, and I assume they weighted against, like, you
Hmm.
know, does this fit and is it in alignment with my principles and what I'm
Hmm.
up to? And then they made a decision and they came back to me and they said,
Hmm.
look, it's not in the, they said it basically in the same way that I'm saying,
Hmm.
it's not in alignment of my principles. And good luck to
No
you.
story.
No story. Keep in
No
touch.
excuses.
No
Yeah.
excuses. It felt so refreshing to receive it.
Hmm.
And it felt like I learned something from that friend of mine.
Hmm.
And I don't know, it was a really good experience for
Mm.
me this week.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I do. Thank you for that so much because I get caught up in the yes and no. And sometimes there's so much guilt around you said the yes or you said the no. But if you can do it in such a kind way and remember to hit a pause and to witness and observe and think about what's best for you and say it in such a beautiful way that I'm not, if I'm this person being a yes or a no to your invitation and without saying too much, just being clear, you know what? Thank you and no thank you and ask me next time. It's so good to hear from you. And then there's no meaning around it. And if that person chooses to read in between that, like, what are you going to do about it? There's
Yeah.
just so many things I think about where it's important to hit that pause and allow sometimes this cognitive center logical thinking instead of offering a knee jerk reaction because we think we have to have an answer right now
Yeah.
is
So
valuable.
I'll just point out the first sentence of that phrase, need not
Hmm.
be limited to old fears. And what I think it's probably the most important of the whole quote, because I
Yeah.
think the knee jerk reaction for me is always to be a yes. And sometimes those yeses get me in situations where, like, those old fears turn out to be true. And
Yeah.
I need to do a better job at pausing, like you said, and
Yeah.
think about, is this really where, with whom I need to be based on my past experiences? And then channeling those past experiences in conjunction with what's going on right here and the relationships here, because maybe the relationships here aren't good either, but maybe they are
Yeah.
good. And so
Yeah.
I need to hit that pause button to figure out, is it right for me? Is it good for me? And if it's good, I should take it. And if it's not, I need to learn to
Yeah.
also let things go.
Yeah. And I think that hitting that pause goes back to that first sentence. I operate a lot of times in thinking about old fears or perceptions that I've had, that when there's a pause and you can like evaluate, am I coming from autopilot because of something negative that has happened before in a similar incident, and then it didn't turn out right because I just sabotaged myself or it wasn't good for me, but I still felt compelled to operate in that fear. So I think, discernment and putting a gap in time to ask yourself, what does this bring to me, and is this for my benefit, and is it a part of what I want to put out in the world, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. So true. Is it an alignment with me? I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
All
Very
right.
good.
We hope you got something out of this. I know I did.
Me
Have a
too.
namaste.
Bye.